Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Webster Tarpley here in Washington, D.C., recommending that you go at once to tarpley.net and buy a copy of Surviving the Cataclysm, Your Guide to the Worst Financial Crisis in Human History, second edition. If you go and read that book, as one recent reader has told me, it's a life-changing experience. You will become a sophisticated observer and commentator and, indeed, protagonist in the important part of world history, which is now unfolding in front of us, which is this world economic depression, and above all, how do you get out of it? How do you fight it? Because you don't just capitulate to a depression the way the Austrian boys say you should, right? They say, oh, it's sacrilegious to fight a depression. You've got to let that depression burn itself out. Well, unfortunately, in that process, dear Austrians, so much gets burned up that we wouldn't accept us. Once it's burned up, there's no recovery. It's a fallacy. The promise of the Austrians that there's always a business cycle to give you a recovery is baloney, bunk, and it's simply an ideology to make you grovel and undergo the flaying alive that the financiers have prepared in the means. Get back to the German ban, which is the news of the week. So Germany fights back against globalization. Germany fights against the hedge funds. Germany does something to cut off the speculation in credit default swaps. Here's the ban again. It's a ban on naked credit default swaps on bonds that are issued by the 16 countries of the euro and which are therefore denominated in euros. The move by Germany to protect all the countries, that would be France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece, and so on, right? All the different ones are part of the euro and therefore have got their national bonded debt, their treasury bills, in effect, treasury bonds, denominated in euros. As of now, in Frankfurt, which is the largest financial center of continental Europe and therefore something significant, you can't buy a naked credit default swap to place a bet against European bonds. And at the same time, you can't do the naked shorting of something like Deutsche Bank. Now, Deutsche Bank, not a loved institution. On the other hand, neither was Lehman Brothers, but they didn't need to be driven into chaotic bankruptcy the way they were by Greenlight and the rest of these bozos. So this means, in effect, if you want to speculate, if you want to sell the Deutsche Bank short, you've got to buy their stock so you can deliver it. In other words, you're not allowed to short it from afar with the idea, well, I'll go out and buy the future stock that I'm going to deliver to the counterparty sometime in the future. You've got to go out and buy it before you can short it. So this also has the effect of suppressing speculation, and that is what Short and his deputy, a guy called Ostman, I think, have been talking about all week. Need to fight speculation, and that is what the Germans have done. So this is an important turning point. Then, of course, the howling, the screaming, communism, oh my God, the end of the world, the violation of globalization, the violation of these rules, coming from all the usual quarters. Above all, the City of London, because the City of London has about 80%, 4/5 of the European hedge funds are located in London, and they love to use credit default swaps to attack places like Greece, Portugal, Spain, and so forth. They are in the process of destroying, if they can, the euro and the European monetary union that backs it up, and nothing new. These are the people who speculated against the Bretton Woods system back in 1971. Read my landmark essays available on at tarpley.net in the Against Oligarchy department. You'll see how the British are the ones who torpedoed the Bretton Woods system on August 15, 1971. Not the French. French were always blamed. No, the British demanded gold, massive gold payment. They wanted to start a gold run on the U.S. Treasury and the Fed at that time. So this is typical. This is the usual track record for these characters. More surprising is the fact that the other European governments have not followed the Germans. Now, I think this may well change. it's clear that Germany is the principal economic and therefore financial power of the European Union. They are the paymaster. They're the ones you have to go to if you want money. Therefore, it's difficult to isolate them, as people have talked. You can't isolate Germany financially inside the European Union because they are the nerve and fist of the entire operation when it comes to money and indeed economic power, more important. So it doesn't work. But now let's take the case of Sarkozy. Sarkozy is exposed as a pathetic, posturing clown. Sarkozy, I had thought, indeed, my own view of the thing about 2 weeks ago was that Merkel was just about a hopeless case and that we needed the people with elementary cunning, whatever else they were, like Sarkozy. You look at Sarkozy, he's more threatened by the Greek debt crisis than Germany is in an immediate sense. It's the French banks, and you can see this every day looking at how the French stock market behaves. It's much more sensitive to Greece. The fact is that the French banks have got more Greek bonds on their balance sheets than the German ones do, or just about anybody else. So you'd think that Sarkozy would be interested in fighting back against the speculators who are attacking Greece. And, of course, as we've stressed over the weeks, Sarkozy has put up this amazing rhetorical show that he's the big enemy of the speculators, and he's been attacked by the London Economist for his anti-speculator rhetoric. Well, it turns out it's all talk. It's all hot air. Sarkozy did nothing. When Germany took this step, they obviously went to the French finance minister, this woman that you've seen on television, and so what's the story? Are you going to go with the Germans and strike at the uncovered naked credit default swaps? And the answer was no. For the moment, not. Now, I don't know if that's going to stand because that is it goes against the instincts of the French bureaucracy. It goes against the instincts of the French cultural tradition. France needs to be exceptional and to go along as the lapdog and stooge of the Anglo-Saxons, which is what they're doing in this case. This is going to please a lot of people in France. So I think that Sarkozy is headed for trouble. Remember, the whole anti-speculation rhetoric with Sarkozy started from the fact that he lost with a humiliating defeat his regional elections a couple of months ago, and he's in big political trouble. His popularity is very low. So the Euro wimps, Sarkozy joins the Euro wimps, all the other ones who wouldn't go along with the Germans. The Germans are standing tall, and the Euro wimps are whining and serving the Anglo-Americans. And we'll be back in a minute.